Hey there, everybody, and welcome to The Binge. This is a movie show where we are going to work our way through a bunch of different franchises. So each series, we're starting with a new franchise, one episode at a time, one movie at a time. We talk, we drink, and we have a good time. We're starting with John Wick, because what a great place to start. So I'm your host, Joshua Ryan. Got here Timbo Jones, otherwise known as Tim Scholes, my co-host, and joining us as the first ever guest on The Binge, we have Anthony Perez. He's a fantastic YouTube critic. You may have seen him. Anthony, tell the people where they might have seen you.
Just on my YouTube channel, probably Anthony A. Perez, but I also did a couple of videos on Fandom Wire News, I believe was the channel that it was on. So yeah,
Awesome.
Thanks so much for having me on, man. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to talking about some OG John Wick.
Are you a fan of John Wick?
I am, yeah, for sure. I think that as the franchise has gone on and the more ridiculous it's become, I think it's become a little bit like I feel like it's lost a little bit of something narratively for me because
Right.
I'm more of a story guy than anything else.
Uh-huh.
Some of my favorite movies have like some of the worst effects, and don't get me wrong, some of my favorite movies have some of the best effects as well, but it's
Right.
some of those it's about the story. And rewatching this first one, there was a charm to the
Little
stakes
something
behind
magic.
it. Once he starts pulling the Batman cowl with all the jackets,
Oh, yeah.
blocking all the bullets, it starts getting a little
Bulletproof suit.
ridiculous. But overall, I am a fan of the franchise, and I'm a big fan of this Keanu renaissance that we've been on.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely going to be talking about that transition more as we go with each episode, because I think with each new episode, each new movie, we're going to see how it just delves a little bit more into the absurd, not necessarily in a bad way, but it just pushes the limits on what's, the realms of believability and all that. Tim, how about you? What's your experiences with John Wick?
Don't fuck with his dog.
Don't fuck with
You know what I mean? His dog in his car. Man's best friend and his ride. Let's roll. Yes, no, John Wick is awesome, especially the first one. Like you're saying, it's grounded in this awesome underground world of assassins with their own code of conduct, which I think is great. I love the fact that they don't sugarcoat anything to you. They're not like,
Right.
hey, this is how we do things over here. It's just like, this coin means something because he's got a shit
Yeah.
ton of them.
Figure
All
it
of a
out.
sudden, he's buying things and he's able to go through doors that don't look like people should be walking through. So it's like very smart, the first one, where they're just
Right.
like, we're not going to spoon feed you. They start it with the car smashing in, and then it's just like, all right, now we're back in time. They don't say like 3
rolling.
weeks later or earlier, I mean. So, yeah. And then it definitely becomes that whole Michael Scott, he loves the first Die Hard. Then John McClane
yeah.
becomes Superman. That's what I think
Right.
about it too.
Right.
So yeah, it definitely gets more ridiculous, which I feel like is always that natural progression with sequels.
For
So,
sure.
but no, the first one is amazing. The fight scenes, the story, the fact that he actually gets captured, and gets fucked up a bunch of times. He's human.
Well, we're going to talk
but,
about it.
But he's still the boogeyman.
gonna-
I know. I'm getting excited. I'm too excited.
No, we're going to get into it, but just before we start, because this is
So-
a drinking podcast, maybe not as much as it is a movie podcast, but this is The Binge. We drink, we watch movies. I am drinking a smoked old fashioned. Got a little bit of Maker's Mark going on here. Tim, what you drinking?
I have something that we found at the local grocer. I love when people say grocer. It's grocery store. This
like it.
it's Oktoberfest beer from Germany. It's Paulaner Munich. Paulaner. I don't know how to say any of this stuff.
Oh, what's that
Can you
taste like?
see it, or is it? It's in my face.
Yeah.
There you go. What it tastes like? It tastes like delicious. Is what it tastes like. It tastes
Sweet.
absolutely good. It's a great. We're filming this in the time of all the October
Oh, yeah, it's
beers
fall
are
here.
coming out. So it's fall here by the time we're filming this. Whenever you see this, it might not be that, but this beer is delicious. And yeah, it's got words on the back, but it's fucking good.
All right. Anthony, what you drinking?
I'm going a little bit more just generic. Got a Highlight double IPA.
Yeah.
I love Highlight.
Yeah, man, same here.
No, Highlight's
IPA was one of those things. Like, I'm definitely not on the camp of people who are like swear by them because they do
Right.
taste pretty atrocious. Like, I'm not blind to how terrible they taste, but they get you right where you want pretty quickly, and eventually, it's
an
kind of like an
acquired
acquired taste. Yeah, exactly. It's definitely
Well,
an acquired taste. It's kind of like black coffee. I never used to be able to drink my coffee black, but now I only drink my coffee black, and so I just feel like I've kind of
that's
picked
healthier,
up a
yeah.
taste for bitter.
Well, it's funny because IPAs are so weird because you'll get like those grapefruit IPAs and those big fruity IPAs, and you're
Right.
like, "What the fuck is this?" And then you get the super hoppy IPAs, and you're like, "This is a drastic difference."
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? But yeah, High Life, man, I'll have a few of those, man. I'm an IPA guy as well. Those jack me up. You get a couple of tall boys of those. Whew.
Yeah.
I think I saw the second
IPAs
time I
can
watched
be-
Superman. I had a couple of those, and I was like, "This movie's even better," you know.
IPAs can be drastically different from one another, just as John Wick 4 is drastically different from John Wick 1.
Ooh,
Bringing it back to the
segue.
beginning, this is
job.
where we are. Movie released in 2014, which is crazy to me when I looked that up. It does not feel like John Wick began over 10 years ago, but it did, and here we are. Anybody see this in theaters? Either of y'all catch it in theaters?
I did, yeah. I was actually
Yeah.
working at a Cinemark at the time, so
Oh,
I
nice.
remember I didn't see it that opening weekend or the opening day, which is traditionally what I do now. Or thankfully because we're part of a critics association, I get to see the stuff early. But back then, like sometimes if my managers really liked me, they'd sneak me into one of their early little screenings or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I saw the trailers. It looked cool. I was like, I like Keanu Reeves. I'll probably check it out when the weekend's
There
over. I
wasn't
had
a lot
to
of
work.
buzz about it when it was
But
coming
it
out.
was.
It was
Yeah.
not a
remember-
buzzy movie.
I remember that my theater, that it was just like this hype from the people walking out of the theater.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
people were coming out,
Oh, yeah.
and just like you could just hear the buzz and the conversation that like they had just seen something really cool. And over the course of the next couple weeks, I just remember like that word of mouth around it, just being like, "Oh, you need to watch John Wick," and
Started
then all
to build,
the memes
yeah.
about the dogs and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
So, directed by Chad Stahelski. He's a stuntman, was Keanu Reeves' stuntman on The Matrix. Apparently uncredited, co-directed by David Leitch. Was a co-director and went uncredited according to some of my research. Budget was estimated at about $20 million. Keanu Reeves, do you guys know how much he made? Made about one to 2 million is what they say off that.
Sure.
So it's a decent little paycheck, but not what he'd be making later on.
No.
4 taglines for this movie on IMDb. I love to pull up the taglines, go through the taglines. They had 4 listed. Number 1, don't set him off. Okay, that's simple. It's kind of direct. 2, John Wick isn't the boogeyman. He's the guy you send to kill the fucking boogeyman. Okay? But fucking has a little asterisk in it, obviously. 3, revenge is all he has left. And 4, yeah, we're thinking he's back. That's the best one.
Yeah,
I love
for
that
sure.
line. It says it all, I think.
I don't know.
back.
I always love the he's not the boogeyman. He's the one you send to kill the fucking boogeyman. I love
Yeah.
that because you're like because everyone always talks about that like I'm the agent of death. You're like fuck that. I'm the guy who sends the person to kill death. Like that can't be killed. He's gonna fucking kill him. Sorry, I'm excited for this podcast. I'm going.
All right,
I'm
I
going
like that
full
he's
tilt.
back. That's what I'm going with. He's back.
Well, you're
All
a
right.
big Arnold guy, so that's why.
Oh, that's
No
true.
idea if that's
Question
true.
for you
Actually.
guys. Question: is Keanu the single most beloved actor of our time? He's got to be up there. He has like no haters. Even the people who are like, I don't necessarily think he's a great actor, which is another question. Is he? I think in the right roles he is. But even the people who are like, yeah, he can't really act. Just people love him because he just seems so genuine and nice. You know, when he's not killing you with a pencil and shit.
Yeah, because everyone was excited for that whole Keanu day when Bill and Ted was going to come out with John Wick, right? Those two were going to come out together, I thought, on the same day
remember.
or some shit like that. And everyone was very excited, but then I think Bill and Ted had to be pushed back, and then everyone got upset. Are you saying?
But is there anybody you can think of that's more
trying to
universally
think.
beloved?
I don't think so. I think you're right. I think it's not
Yeah.
only just his roles in the movies he's in. It's like
Uh-huh.
he's also well known for being kind of like not a celebrity, like he'll
Right.
take the bus, he'll take the train. He's not really precious about like his money and his status, and in the day and age where like influencers that nobody knows but have enough followers to be known enough that act like they're like the biggest thing in the world. You have an actor like Keanu Reeves who's like literally been in some of the biggest movies of all time, who's just like super
Just
laid
chill
back
dude.
and human. And then on
Yeah.
top of that, he also like puts the work into it. I think any film goer is going to appreciate the actor who puts the work into the craft beyond just the performance. Of course, if they can't physically because of whatever they're old or ailments or whatever, that's one thing. But the fact that you can find all these great videos of him like putting in the work for the stunt
Oh
stuff,
yeah, doing the
too,
training.
Yeah.
yeah, it just gives you this extra layer of like appreciation for him as a person.
And he was in some of the SpongeBob movies. That's also
He wasn't some
a big
special.
plus.
movies.
Big tick. So speaking of putting in the work, yeah, for this movie, he trained for months in judo, jujitsu, and gun manipulation. And like you said, there's a lot of videos, especially for, I think the training definitely ramps up in the next ones as they get more, as they realize, oh, people really like this, we got to up it. Then I think it kicks in even more. So David Leitch, who we talked about earlier, he revealed Bruce Willis was originally set to play the role of John Wick. And then something happened. They brought in Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is 50 when this movie comes out. He's looking damn good.
Yeah, because how old was Bruce Willis when this movie was going to come out?
I mean, older.
Yeah.
But Bruce Willis was at such a point. This is probably, I don't know, was this around the time he did that remake of Death Wish, which was, I remember watching that in a theater by myself.
Yeah.
And I only went to it because I had Movie Pass and I had the day off. And I was like, I can go sit in here and watch it. And I was just like, he's not even trying. Bruce Willis was just done. I'm not going to talk ill about the man, but I don't know that he would have, maybe it could have revived his career a little bit. I don't know.
It definitely wasn't at the heat, like the height of his powers. Like he definitely wasn't. He wasn't putting out like masterful performances. You know, he loved the dude. So sad for where he is today, but undeniably, 2010's era was like, hey, I'm gonna like do like that thing you're gonna find 7 movies deep in the Walmart bin.
Right. Yeah. That's.
But also,
pumping him out.
Yeah, I don't think you can see him doing all the kung fu. You know.
Right.
Because
I don't know that he would have
so
put in the devotion. I don't know.
No, I don't think so either. Because Keanu, we're all, you're so used to the Matrix and him just being like, I know kung fu, and then just kicking everyone's fucking ass. So when he goes into town, you're like, oh, I already assumed that he just knows what he's doing and he's gonna fucking kill everybody.
Right.
You know.
Now this movie revitalized Keanu's career a little bit. He wasn't out and done by any means, but like looking at prior to this, the movies he was making were like 47 Ronin, Man from Tai Chi, Henry's Crime, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Nothing was really catching. Nothing was really like driving audiences to be like, oh, this is great, or he's here. And then he does this, and he just was so back. He was just so back in the mainstream, so back on people's minds, and, back in the fandom.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it goes without saying. I didn't know if you were. Yeah, I didn't know if you were opening it up to us or you were going to say more. But
yeah, I was gonna kind of wait. But that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of those things where it's a combination of star power and him just like being in that right role. Because some of those movies you mentioned there, right? Like, just it's kind of one of those things. I love Keanu, and when I think of him, of course, everybody thinks Matrix. They think John Wick now, Bill and Ted. certain roles. But then, of course, for as much as I love the film, I think like his accent in Dracula will always be one of those moments that's just like, yikes,
I don't even like that movie, honestly.
Yeah, well, fair enough, and I can see why. Like with him being like the central character in this at all that, it's just like it's not the best. But I think it's just a mix of the star power and then the action. It's one of those things where like nowadays we see less of the star power selling the movie, and it's more of the like the either the IP or like the concept that will do well. I think the concept was great, and then honestly, I think at its core, with how crazy it's gotten to this day, and now people go to it because it's already an established franchise. I really think people could latch on to the dog dying at the beginning element. Like I think that's one thing. Like I think most people, it's like it's a joke nowadays that like I don't care about people, but you kill my dog, I'm gonna kill everybody.
See,
I think that's
I
something
was gonna
everybody can
ask,
relate to.
did they have to kill Daisy? Did they really need that to be the launching point for? Did they have to go there? You think so? You don't think
it
this
really
could have
gets you behind him? I think it really gets you behind him. Rewatching it, I was just like, it's so sad. I mean, I guess you don't need it. You know what's worse? It's not only just the killing of the dog; it's him being knocked out, and then they were like, let's move the dead dog directly in front of you from when you wake up. Like they just like really just.
Like the dog dragged itself. If you look at it, when Keanu wakes up, or John Wick wakes up, the dog has the trail of blood to him. So it's like, in my mind, I'm thinking, and at least I'm telling that the dog was still somewhat conscious and went to him and died in his arms. Because it doesn't look like he dragged him to him. Because he would have just went over. Yes. But I agree with you. I think, because before that, I think there were so many stories where like pets would die or something would happen. I mean, you even watch like the first Megan and like she kills the dog or whatever. Like there's a lot of movies where the pets do die for whatever reason. This movie, I feel like, started, no, the pet needs to survive because people are pissed. You can't kill the dog. Now it's like a rule. You can't kill the dog after this. Because when you kill the dog, John Wick's fucking coming for you. You know what I mean? So it
Well,
got
my wife-
everybody behind him to do whatever the fuck he needed to do to kill everybody. Like, he could have killed them even worse. And everyone would have been like, justified.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No,
So,
I
and I
agree.
love a good revenge story. So the beginning, if you can make it so visceral and really get me behind it, I'm like, yes, do whatever you need to do. And the fact that we didn't see it technically what happened, you just
Right.
heard it and you saw them like do the stomp thing, it made it even worse, I feel like.
So when I rewatched this, I watched it with my wife. She'd never seen any of the movies, and she is one of those, the dog can't die. So I told her, like, he does, but the dog dies, but that is the launching point. Then Keanu kills everybody. So she's sitting there watching. We have to use the website doesthedogdie.com, you know, before we watch a movie a lot of times.
Is
And
that
it'll
a
tell you
thing?
if animals get killed. But
That's a
she's
real
wa-
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, doesthedogdie.com. Yeah.
Oh,
tell
my
you put in the
God.
movie, and it'll tell you if an animal gets killed.
Okay.
And so she's watching it, and she's like, I would do this if somebody killed my dog. And I was like, really? You think you could
If
take
you had
on
the
this
skills,
mob?
yeah, if you had the skills to do it. I mean, he's the one who put the mob where it was. You know, he's the one who got them to where they need to be. He's the one who's going to break them back down.
This is true. You know what? I forgot John
Thank
Leguizamo and Willem Dafoe are in this movie. How great are those?
Yes.
I fucking love John Leguizamo. That dude, Willem Dafoe gets
Dude.
plenty of love. John Leguizamo doesn't get enough love.
Agreed.
That guy is
Unsung
awesome.
heroes. I'm with you.
Agreed. Yeah. No, when I was rewatching, I was like, oh my God, they are in this movie. And I think it just also goes to show how much the franchise has evolved. But there are a lot of recurring characters in the
Right.
future installments. Obviously, makes sense for why they're not reoccurring characters. But there's something too with any franchise, I find, going back to that first one a lot of times before they really knew what they were going to do. And I think this movie does a good job of like setting up the Continental and all the behind the scenes
Right.
stuff. But man, like certain little pieces like that, you know, like a Willem Dafoe or John Leguizamo, who in recent years you just don't see him in as much. And I really liked him in The Menu a couple years
I was
back.
going to say
thought
The
he was
Menu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
great in that movie.
He was his character apparently inspired by Steven Seagal in that movie.
Okay,
That's what I heard. Don't know if it's true. So
can see that.
in this movie, the villains are the Russian mob. I feel like the Russians and Germans, great villains. The Germans
Yeah.
have really earned it. I feel like it's going to take them a long time to shake that, the villain role. They've kind of earned that title.
Well,
but they
yes.
always make good movie villains. And so here, yeah, you have the Russian mob, like you said, Tim. He is the Baba Yaga, and we don't really know what that means. Like my wife's asking me, she's like, "What was he like an assassin? Was he like a badass before?" The answer is yes, but you got to just wait a little bit to find out how deep that goes. What do you think about the villains of this? Just kind of a generic Russian mob. We don't really learn much about them. Just he is a Russian badass.
I like them, but I didn't. I think rewatching it, I was like, oh, they're a little one note, a little bit more one
Right.
note than I remembered. And I think that partially that process in my mind is with how elaborate the villains get in the follow-ups.
Right.
Maybe except
Oh,
for
yeah,
like
yeah.
the ballerina, which I felt like had a generic villain. But if we're just counting the mainline John Wick films, you know, they made the villains a little bit bigger, if you will. And even the way he kills the guy who actually, you know, the one he's actually after the whole movie,
Right.
it was so like he doesn't even glorify the moment. He just walks up to him, pops him in the head, and walks
Right.
away. Like it's so
Yeah.
small. But the dad though, the main mafia leader, Vigo,
Right.
you know, rest in peace to that actor. I think he passed away from lung cancer or something to
shit.
that degree, if I'm not mistaken. So
up.
rewatching the movie, I was like, you know, really sad to see that he passed away. But I think that he's a fun villain at times, especially when he first gets the phone call or when he first calls. He's like, I heard you hit my son.
Yes.
What happened? He's like,
Oh, yeah.
this guy, you know, stole John Wick's car and killed his dog. Oh, hangs up the phone.
Yeah.
Like,
And that was
perfect.
another scene where John Leguizamo was just awesome. He's like,
Right.
"Do you know what
Yes.
you fucking done? Do you know whose car this is? You killed his fucking dog." And you're just like, he's just so cool.
Yeah.
He plays the role so well. All right, let's talk about the two big kind of action moments. I want to talk about the very first one where they come to his house. Now, they come to his house and he just takes out and kills everybody. I feel like that's a good action scene, but I feel like it hadn't really pumped up yet. It wasn't like this is something really special just yet. But after that scene, you know, the cop comes and they open the door and he's like, "Are you working again, John?" He sees all the dead people. Like, they just know. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm working." And he just leaves. And I'm like, does the whole police department know? Or does just Jimmy, the cop, know? Like, well, I don't know. What do you think? How deep does it go?
I would say the people that probably work around John knows, because
People work in that neighborhood.
Yeah, if you work in that neighborhood, you work that town. I think you kind of know, because you're like, hey, I'm here to protect and serve. I'm here to do, help the community, but also I'm not gonna get fucking killed. Because John Wick, if I say anything or do anything stupid, he's just gonna kill me, and I don't.
Plus, he's a cool
I
guy.
don't want to die.
Yeah.
Huh?
Plus, he's a cool guy. Now, the
Plus, he's
other
a cool
one I
guy.
want to talk about, where it really ramps up, is when John Wick goes into the Russian club. Now, as he's going in, we see the big bouncer security dude, Francis, and he just kind of comes up to him, puts the gun to him. I like how calm Francis just is. He's like, "You here on business, John?" And he's like, "Yeah, take the night off." And I like that he let Francis go. I appreciated that the buddy,
You know who that is, right?
Bouncer got to go. Huh?
Yeah, it's Kevin Nash. It's a wrestler.
Oh, man, I don't watch wrestling. This is a movie podcast, not a wrestling podcast.
How do you the '90s? Josh.
Okay.
So many things.
He lets Kevin Nash go, who plays Francis. But I like that. But then when he goes into the bathhouse, and makes it in, and it really just turns into he is just going ham and killing everybody. I think that's when the movie really ramps up, and that's when I'm really just like, okay, this is a little different, a little bit better. We're seeing something we don't always see. One critique, John Wick is taking out everybody. He don't miss. He's back shot, not even looking, doing all this. But the dude that he's after the whole time, the little Russian boy, Theon Greyjoy, what was his name from?
Greyjoy. Yep.
Yeah, from
Theon
Game of Thrones. He's after him. Every time he's trying to shoot him, though, he's missing.
Yeah.
Well,
Missing.
there's a few.
Everybody else, he hits one shot.
Not necessarily. Okay. There's a few
It
times.
wasn't necessarily. I watched.
Well, no, I watched it too. But there's a few times where someone got like something in the way of Theon, right? It's only really when he was running up the stairs where I was like, yo, you probably could have capped him in the knee or something like that.
Right.
But
Hit
if
him.
you notice,
He's in a
when
towel.
Wick. Yeah, exactly. But when Wick, like especially in the first fight scene, he shoots him a few different times. They're not always straight dead, and then he always headshots him,
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I liked about the first fight scene. The one thing I took away from it was that he actually ran out of bullets. So when I was watching that, and then he ran out of bullets, I was like, oh, so this action movie is going to be not unlimited bullets. We're actually going to be like, because he goes to shoot the one dude, and he's like, oh, shit. And then fucking, takes him out a different way, which I appreciated. But I would say there's a few times in that bathhouse scene, if I remember correctly, like something like kind of got in the way, or he didn't exactly have a clear shot.
Yeah, I mean, they make excuses.
I'm going to defend it
Sure.
real quick.
Let's talk the Continental, because this goes on to have so much lore, like we talked about. But here, I had forgotten how tame and basic it really is. Like you said, Tim, they bring in the coins, but they don't go to all that much. We know that they have the rules. No business in the Continental. No killing in the Continental. John Wick also is, quote-unquote, being hunted by Willem Dafoe. The Russian mob guy pays Willem Dafoe. He puts out just a bounty that anybody can go in on.
Sure.
But he asks Willem Dafoe to come, and it seems like Willem Dafoe's hunting him down. He snipes at him in the room. He's intentionally missing him there, right? We that has to be
100%.
revealed. Later.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, he misses him the first time to warn him that the girl.
Wake him up because the girl was coming. Here's the question though: say he wasn't trying to miss him. If he kills him from outside the hotel sniping in, is that still violation of the rules? Did he kill somebody on the property?
Yeah.
If he's off the property?
I'd say yeah, but he probably would have been able to get away with it, like.
Yeah. I
you
think,
still gotta
I
catch
think
him.
you have an argument. I think you have a case. You get a good defense lawyer against the Continental, I think you got a case.
No, you can't do business on the grounds. I mean, John Wick clearly went to the Continental because he knew his home wasn't safe anymore. So he went there because he knew he was going to be safe there, because you can't take him out there. So if there was a bounty, he should be fine. But if you take him out on there and they found out that it was Marcus, yeah, I think you got rules to go after him. I think his membership will be revoked.
Well, which probably means death, I would guess.
That's what he
head
said.
wrap.
when he
Yeah,
killed that
It
chick.
does, because that's what happens to Perkins. Is her name?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Perkins.
Thank you, Anthony, for watching the freaking movie. Josh, pay attention.
I do want to say real quick too. You were
go for it.
mentioning that was it Tim Nash, the guy who plays.
Oh,
The wrestler?
Yeah, I always think of him as the Russian from the first Punisher movie, not the first Punisher movie, the second one with Thomas Jane.
Oh, yeah. The Tom
He's the
Jane
Russian
one.
guy that he throws.
that him?
No, that was the
boiling
first
water in
one.
his face. Yeah.
No,
What was the first?
there's an earlier one
There's the
from
Dolph
89.
Lundgren
Oh, you're talking
one
about
in
Dolph
the
Lundgren.
90s.
Oh, I thought you meant I was like, Thomas Jane only did one. Yes, that's the one in St. Pete. Yes, Kevin
Yeah.
Nash. Yeah, he was the Russian in that one.
Which
Which was
spectacular
hilarious.
scene.
That that Punisher. That
Right.
was
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to bring it
that
back
scene,
there.
no
but
matter
yeah.
what you think
No,
of it,
but I'm
that
with
scene
you.
is awesome. All right.
Yes.
So, Tim, you mentioned they get him. It's believable because they kidnap him. They actually catch him.
They do.
Okay. Okay, again, let me bring you a critique here. Let me play devil's
Sure.
advocate. They catch
do it.
him, sure. And then what do? They have him tied up, helpless,
I mean-
guns. What do? And they did the most stereotypical old school thing to where the bad guy orders his death and walks out without waiting until he's dead. And then wait, you have John Wick, the Baba Yaga, who's already killed like 200 of your people, and you're gonna put a bag on his head? You put a bag on his head? That's how you're gonna kill him?
You ever know how to actually, like, if someone does put a plastic bag over your head, you know what you do? You actually rip out.
I'm gonna like gnaw it.
Don't go
Yeah.
for your neck. You go for the hole.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
You always go for the hole.
Yes. Well, first of all, to counterpoint your counterpoint, he was winning.
can't do it.
The guy, the main like henchman. I think he's the stunt coordinator actually in it. That's why he had the most fights with him, if I remember correctly. He actually was killing John Wick, and it wasn't until Marcus shot through the window and helped him out. So
Precisely.
yeah, he was. That's what I'm saying. So he was going
No.
to die if Marcus didn't do anything. So once again, Marcus saved his ass twice. John. Well,
Yes.
I think he would have not
Marcus-
necessarily died from Perkins unless Perkins just walked up and fucking capped his ass.
Marcus
But he was
is the
John
real
Wick was
hero.
going to die. He was going to die.
But,
so what are you
okay.
talking about? What are we talking about here,
Because-
Josh?
If you have this dude who is so dangerous to you, someone that you're so afraid of, that you're like, we have to get every man we have to kill him, then you actually have him in a situation where you kill him. You just pump him full of bullets right then. You put
Yes.
20 in his head.
But in that situation, his emotions got over him because if you forget, John Wick literally just burnt his stash of blackmail and money and all
Yes,
kinds
that's
of
why
things
you want
was
him dead.
Yes, but you want him dead slowly because you're
A
evil.
suffocation
you're
isn't even a torturous kind of murder, I don't think.
Suffocation isn't torturous.
Anthony,
What are you
weigh in
talking
here,
about?
Anthony. You
I
gotta be the
gotta
tiebreaker.
agree with Josh on this one. When I was watching the movie, I couldn't help but think, dude, he's unconscious. Just shoot him in the head, and your whole movie is over.
Exactly.
You know, the fact
They
that
hit him with a car.
yeah,
and now
then
just shoot him once you hit him with
they
a
climb
car.
up. Now I'll give Tim this.
Yes.
Like even if with the bag situation, you know, I think he would have maybe got out of it knowing how badass he was because he had broken his thumb. You know, like
True.
he had broken his thumb to like kind of start squeezing it out before Marcus shot anybody. But so like I do think I understand where they went with the bag approach. You know, like they were
Sure.
thinking like, you know, let's kill him nice and slowly. But like, yeah, dude, I don't know. The whole time I kept thinking it. There's no reason because I think that's. I want to say like it's not the second. They only knock him out that one time, but there's one other time they have him like pretty vulnerable.
There
you
was
know,
another
and
time
the
where they
kid-
There
had
was
a
another
shot.
time, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like, dude,
But
the
this
whole
one was the
franchise is
worst.
over right now.
Right. So I like that he gets out of this, obviously, and I like that he is so terrifying that he gets the mob boss to give up his son. He's like, you're
Yeah.
fucked. I've got you. Give me your son. And the mob boss is like, no. He's like, do it. Okay. And he gives up his son, kills the son, and they pull a real fake ending because it actually, for a moment, I'm like, that's it? And it feels like they're almost wrapped up. They killed him, and it almost seems like they're wrapping it up. Then the mob boss has to go after Willem Dafoe, and it ramps right back up.
Right.
And we keep going to the bigger climax, which is what? Is it at a docks? It looks like a dock. I didn't see any boats. It looked like a
Yeah,
dock, right?
it's a shipping yard.
Shipping yard?
Yeah.
Shipping yard?
Yeah.
That's where we
You know,
get
it's
our
like-
big climax.
I just thought of
They
it right
do-
now. That's like Road to Perdition. It's the
It is
same
like
thing.
Yeah.
Dude, that movie's so good. Sorry.
Here's what I love when the
Sure.
two main bad guy versus good guy decide they're going hand to hand, and they just do this stupid stereotypical conversation. So I have where the bad guy says to him, I wrote it down. He said, "What's happened to us, John? We were professionals, civilized." Sitting here talking like this, like old school, just we were buddies while trying to kill each other. I love stuff like that. I feel like that always works.
Well, I think it helps in the psyche and makes you understand these people even more. That they're like, yeah, we were civilized. Like, bitch, you guys kill people. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
But
what
they had
civilization are you in?
They
yeah, they
had
got their
rules.
own. Yeah, the honor amongst thieves, but like, just the irony or just the laughability of like, we were civilized, but like, let's kill each other.
Yeah, that was good.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be a Russian
I
if
think
you
that's
need me.
part of the charm of the John Wick franchise, right? It's like the
Yeah.
notion that they do the worst things ever, but everybody's got these like set of rules and like restrictions,
Right.
and like even the notion that they live by this whole like you can't kill in this continental like hotel, like it's kind of hilarious, but I think it's part of what makes the franchise what it is, you know. And with each installment, they've done a good job of like kind of expanding on that lore ever so slightly.
Yeah.
By the sequels, it's like there's an assassin group that it runs so deep throughout the city. There's homeless people who are secretly assassins. This cab driver's an
Yeah.
assassin. Everybody's an assassin. All of New York.
Yeah.
So,
But those
let's go over the
chicks
kill
that do the fucking like old school they have the tattoos, they're, like very pinup-y, and they got like
Right.
the circuit operator. Those girls are awesome. We were talking about things that they ramped up. I'm just saying they ramped up like that lore of like now there's like these like circuit
they
workers
have
that are
phone
just, like,
operators. This is what you're impressed by?
yeah, I like it old school. Also, they were awesome.
All right.
Sorry,
talk
I don't know what
movie
that's to do with
kill
anything. I'm just excited to talk about it.
Now, I would imagine the kill counts will go up exponentially each movie, at least for, a couple sequels. So in this movie, there was, according to Cinema Blend article that I looked at right before we started recording, there are 91 kills in the movie. 73 die by guns, 6 by knives or swords, and 12 by other. I don't know what the others are.
They
But
had swords in this movie?
it says knives/swords. It could all been knives.
Just in the
Yeah. All nice.
Got it.
Yeah.
Just a bladed weapon is what they're saying. A bladed.
Sure, I
weapon.
got what you're saying.
You guys have any final thoughts right before we wrap it up? We're gonna do a little letterbox look, see what the people letterbox think. But before we get there, what you guys think? Any last looks, last comments?
I got a question for you. Zombie apocalypse. Are you taking John Wick with you? Because he fucking headshot everything.
He'll go
Like it
with me,
didn't
yeah.
matter how many bullets he put in. At the very end, he headshot everybody. I'm sitting there watching it, going like, "Yeah, the zombies broke out. I'm finding John Wick because he's just gonna pop, 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 pop. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be safe all day."
But what does John Wick want me to go with him for? I can't
Right.
keep up with him. I can't headshot all these zombies. I'm a nuisance at this point. He's gonna try and get rid of me.
I don't know. Maybe learn how to like cook or like be his his valet, like in.
Careful, Tim.
No, I meant like his weapons
Careful.
valet.
What do I got to do for John Wick to survive? Careful.
Cook him meals and be his weapons valet, like in Jumanji, like Kevin Hart in Jumanji. Or be his doctor,
Anthony, what
sew
you
him up, learn how to sew.
I
You know, he's gonna need that.
gotta agree with what you said, Josh. If he'll come with me or he'll want me around, sure. Otherwise, I feel like I'd just be a nuisance. I can't imagine I'd be much help whatsoever unless he's like willing to like teach me his ways. That's a whole different situation.
movie.
If not,
I'm letting him go
John
out and
Wick
scrambling
5.
some eggs.
you know.
But
Hey,
I will
John
say
Wick
this.
5 could be a zombie movie.
There you
All
go.
right.
No, but the one thing I've always loved about this movie, on a more real note, is those coins.
Keep it real.
The two scenes that I love, or the one thing that I love so much is that when he finally does come back to being this killer, he literally like poured concrete over his old life. You know,
Right. Oh, yeah.
He buried it. He literally and physically
That
and
is a cool
mentally
scene,
buried his
breaking
life.
it. Yeah.
Such a cool scene, such a cool moment. You have the Russian telling his son, like, this is who he is, in between him just sledgehammering all the stuff. He literally breaks out his old life. You see those rows and rows of coins, and I've always loved it because as a writer, I love the fact it was show, not tell. No one ever once been like, hey, you have a lot of coins. You know, that was good currency over here that you could do a lot of cool stuff with. He just was like, yo, dink, slide. Yeah, I'm here. You want to earn a coin? Boom. Holder. You know, I got to get in this place. Boom. Coin. You're like, okay, this is the currency of this. And I love the fact that they didn't dumb anything down for us. Kind of like what I was saying earlier. That I've always loved about
It's
this
kind
movie.
of like
And it's just,
when they
yeah.
what was the code for come get all the dead bodies? It was like a dinner reservation, right?
Yeah,
Is that
dinner
what it was?
reservations. Yeah.
Same. They don't be like, if you want to have somebody come pick up dead bodies, tell them it's
Yeah.
a dinner reservation.
Right,
they just
right.
do it,
Exactly.
and then you're like, and then it lets you know they have a whole code system. Like
Because you
they
know
what's
there's-
going on.
Yeah, because you know there's people out there going like, yo, what's with the coins? You're like, fucking, are you not watching? Like, that's what it is. Like, you don't need everything force fed to you. And I just really appreciate about that. In this, like, action movie, it was very funny at times, too.
Right.
Like, when he's fighting Miss Perkins, and then the guy's just on the call, like, trying to call him, like, hey, we have a disturbance, you know? Like, that
Yeah.
was really funny. And there's this, it's just good moments in this supposed to be superficial action movie, but it was actually pretty deep. The whole opening 5 to 10 minutes is like this completely different movie. This whole alternate life that he had that really sets up the rest of it. You know, it wasn't as sad as the first 10 minutes of Up, but it was pretty fucking sad.
Nothing is.
You know,
nothing is.
So nothing else is. That's true. But yeah, I don't know. Those are my thoughts. Anthony, what you got going on, brother?
Yeah, Anthony,
man,
closing thoughts.
I loved the film. Going back and rewatching it, it immediately pulled me in. You know, sometimes when you rewatch a movie, if you've already seen it a bunch of times or you're watching it for something, depending what it is, sometimes you can kind of like feel like, oh, you know, I know what's coming. Like I'm drifting off mentally a little bit, depending on what it is, of course. But in the case of this, man, like I found myself just locked in the second like the movie started going. You know, and I checked the time on my phone, or not the time on my phone. I checked how long we were into the movie before the movie like gets going with action. It's like 20 minutes in, and it just like from there on, it does not stop. You know, it's a really well paced movie. It's not very long either. When you look at like what some of the sequels have done in terms of just like kind of more bloated length, it's straightforward. It's to the point. It gives you that like great world building in just the right way that doesn't overcomplicate things, but doesn't spoon feed the audience. And it was simplistic, but also I really appreciated the stakes. I think more than anything, like the personal stakes for him. You know, like this is like a perfect, in a lot of ways, revenge tale, because it's not just only that his dog died, but it's what that dog means to him. The gift from his wife. You know, the notion that this was like a new way to grieve. You know, with like from a final gift from her. Like I couldn't even, because the dog part is like we all, oh my god, they killed the dog, kill everybody. That part sucks, right? But like, I think the notion, like for instance, you know, I think all three of us are married, right? Like, or most,
Yes.
Yeah. So we're all married. The idea of our wife dying and then gifting us a dog, and then that dog being murdered is like it just adds this whole other layer. You know, it's like, and even if you can't have the skills to do that, you're gonna try. So I think when I look at the second, third, and fourth, and how it became the next ones all become far more about self-preservation. Less so than like a journey of like I need to do this kind of thing. I think that's part of what makes the first John Wick maybe still my favorite in the franchise. I don't know if I would have to rewatch all of them now that I've just rewatched the first one to like see if that really sticks. But I think when I think of the second, third, and fourth, I just think of heightened action around a sense of self-preservation because everybody's coming for him based on like what's happened. But less so because it was like this character wanted this, you know, like you feel why he's on this journey. And I just think it just makes for like just a great action movie. It goes to show why this movie created now 5 films altogether, including Ballerina.
Right.
There's a possible 5th film that I don't know how they're going to work that in that they're talking about. And I think like an anime film that they're also talking about as well. So it's just like, dude, like obviously this franchise is, and there's a TV show, The Continental. So it's like,
we don't talk about The Continental.
We don't talk.
right.
What you were saying, piggyback real quick, if I can. That scene that we were talking about with the bag, just before they put the bag over his head, when he has almost this very visceral emotion. Everyone keeps asking me if I'm back, and it kind of explains it. That's the one time it really explains. He's like, it wasn't just a dog. I was trying to grieve. And you finally see, I feel like, you kind of see a little bit in the beginning, but like you see his emotions. Like you finally see him, not just this like one-track mind killer. You see him like why he's doing it. And that scene, watching it again for another time, I was going to say a second time. No, watching it for another 100th time. Like, it so was, like, raw. He's like, this is why I'm doing it, so I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to fucking kill everybody. You're like, yes, okay, let's fucking go. You know? So, yeah, I'm with you on that one. Sorry.
We didn't talk about the CGI dog duty that cost $5,000.
Huh?
The CGI dog poo-poo. So there's one scene where the puppy duties outside, like pretty much right before it. It was a last-minute CGI because they were insistent that the poop needs to be there. And I don't know why they didn't just get some prop poop, but they were like, Chad Stahelski, I think, in the voiceover and the commentary, was talking about they wouldn't let him give X-Lax to the dog. They needed the shot. And he's like, so it ended up costing $5,000 of the budget for a CGI dog poop shot that's in the movie for literally like a second. They show it for like a second.
If that, dude. It's so brief. I mean, it's such a
it's
small,
so
that's crazy.
brief. Like, melt a fucking Butterfinger. Like, what are you spending $5,000?
Honestly.
Who did that come from? The studio? They're like, yo, some studio head's like,
We need the poop."
the dog poop. I don't care what it is. Nothing is too expensive. Let's
He
fucking
turns
do
in a
it. You know?
cut. He turns in a cut of the movie. They're like, the action's cool, but where's the dog shit? We told you we need the dog shit. Where is it? All right.
Now I'm just thinking
So-
of like every studio head being like from the show, the studio. So like I'm thinking of like Seth Rogen and his team going, "Do you think we need dog poop?" and having this whole like examination of if the dog poop brings something to the film.
Is the Kool-Aid Man racist? All right.
Racist? Sorry.
So before we go, I've heard what y'all think. I want to hear what the people. Actually, let me hear. What do you rate the movie? Let's do it out of 10. What do you give it, Anthony?
I'd probably give
I'm putting
this
you on the spot. This wasn't part of the show.
No,
I
you're good.
decided.
You're good. On Letterboxd, I teetered back and forth on this last watch because I know we talked about it beforehand. Because when I rated it on Letterboxd before, it was retrospectively at the time. I had just opened Letterboxd and did it. On rewatch, I was teetering between a 4.5 and a 5. And while I still have gripes, there's little things that I think could have been handled better. A couple side characters like Perkins or like, even
Right.
Marcus that I think could have maybe been expanded upon a little bit more. I think that this is like a perfect beginning for this franchise. I think it did a great job of being a great thing. So I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10, man. I think this is a great movie from beginning to end. I think it's got like just badass action, choreography wise. I think it's got a great lead. I think it's one of those things that if you changed anything, if Chad Stahelski was not directing, if Keanu Reeves wasn't the main star, if it wasn't what it is, I don't think it would have created the phenomenon that it did. It would have just been another cool action movie. So, yeah, I think I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 with the wiggle room that there's grievances, but I don't think there's a perfect movie out there, right? But when I think about like what the movie was going for, I see an executed idea.
So I like the way you worded this because I just flung this on you last minute, but I was getting ready to talk about the Letterboxd ratings anyway. So it's rated. Let's look at it from the Letterboxd perspective. So that is a 5 out of 5 for you, Tim. If you haven't logged this on Letterboxd, do you have a Letterboxd, Tim? If I can get one.
I do. I haven't logged. I was gonna log a whole bunch of stuff.
Start doing shit.
I should. It's true.
5 out of 5. Obviously, Letterboxd also always points. 0.5, 1, 2, 1.5. What are you giving this out of 5? What's your Letterboxd score?
Out of 5. I'm a sucker for a good revenge story. So for me, the way that they rewrote action films in the aspect of like he does run out of ammo, he does do similar moves when the enemy does approach him. Like he'll do the same move over and over again. You're like, it just works. He doesn't need to do like a newer move just for flash and trash.
Right.
The fact that like he has this ultimate rep that Kevin Nash and all these guys are afraid of him. The cops are even like, all right, I see 5 dead bodies. I'll you have a good day, and the fact that like they did such a great job setting up this underworld, and you're like, yeah, like later you're like, is everybody a fucking assassin? But at least in this one, you're like, okay, so like the Continental, you could go as a normal person, but like there's such a seedy underbelly of it all.
Can you?
Yeah. I think some people would go there as a normal person.
That's just
That's
open
probably
for
who's.
anybody?
Why wouldn't it be? I mean, he had to give the gold coin in order to get anywhere you needed to be. You needed the gold coin. So, like, why wouldn't it be a front? You got to launder money somehow. Josh, I'm an Italian from New York. I'll teach you a few things. Anyway.
Okay.
I give it as the sucker in me, especially since the fact that they killed the dog and like, let's go fuck people up for killing dogs. I'm with you. I'll give 5 out of 5. Letterbox score, but out of 10, I'm going 7, 8, or 9. I'm going 8 or 9 out of 10 because there's
that doesn't
no
make
perfect
any.
movie.
Your math is not mathing, Tim.
I feel pretty good about it though.
No.
But my booze are boozing.
A 5
this
out
is
of
the
5
binge, right?
equates-
We are supposed to be drinking. I feel like I'm the only one who keeps drinking, but
I
5 out
drank
of
mine and I ate all my cherries.
fine. 10 out of 10.
I'm almost
Cheers.
done
Yeah, we
with
never
it.
even cheers. We never cheers anything. 10
All right.
out of 10.
That'll be a thing
5
on the
out of
next one.
5. Let's go. There you go. I
Okay.
changed
Five
it.
out, just so you know, 5 out of 5 equates to 10 out of 10. All right.
Yeah, I don't know math.
It does. I do. I really enjoy this movie. I like this movie. I don't think I'm as high as a 5 out of 5 for you guys. I gave this on my Letterboxd upon rewatch a 4 out of 5. I gave it, it's an equate to an 8 out of 10. Still a very strong rating. I like this movie. Now, if we pull up the Letterboxd, we look at it. This movie currently has an average of a 3.8 average on Letterboxd, and that is based on 1,528,771 ratings. The most common rating given for this movie is a 4 out of 5, making up 36% of the ratings. So, it is well liked on Letterboxd. It is not as well liked as you two. You guys froze up on my
4
screen.
out of 5.
Yeah, that's okay for me. I think it's one of those things where, like, when I rate stuff on Letterboxd, I always, what I realize sometimes, and listen, this is no shade to the Letterboxd crowd. I feel like sometimes people want to be contrarians, so there's a little bit of that. But also,
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
I do think that there's also a factor. Sometimes people don't score a film for what the purpose is. Like, I think that is the most important thing when it comes down to reviewing film. I think that you have to know what the purpose was, what the intention was, and how well executed it was within that realm. So, for instance, I'm not going to give John Wick the same score that I would give a Smurfs movie. A 5 out of 5 Smurfs movie is not mind you, there's not a 5 out of 5 Smurfs movie, but a 5 out of 5 Smurfs movie.
No.
Yeah, not yet. But it's not the same as a 5 out of 5 John Wick. Same as there's not a 5 out of 5 Star Wars is not the same as a 5 out of 5 John Wick. It's just they're different, but they could still be in that same scale, Yeah. And so I think when I look at John, I think here's a big thing, right? How many movies do you go see, especially action movies, where you never really get a sense of the world? John Wick gives you full sense of the world, full idea of what it is. And it only expands on it later on. Now we have a full idea of what the John Wick world. When you think of the John Wick world, you know what it is. But that first film did that. And a lot of action movies don't do that. They just don't create a sense of world. That when you think about all the greatest franchises, like those first movies do such a good job. Well, if they're good franchises. But like Star Wars is another good example, right? When you watch that first one and they're talking about the Clone Wars and the Old Republic and they're referencing all this, you don't know what's going on. They're saying all this random stuff, womp rats, this, that, and you don't know what's going on. Now we know because the world is so fleshed out. But it's one of those things where, like, is John Wick on the same level in terms of, like, crazy lore building? No, but, like, I think it does in its own way as an action movie. Even some of the best, like a Die Hard. It's not like Die Hard gives you a great sense of the world, John Wick does something where, like, you walk out of that movie, you know what this world kind of is, how it operates, the currency, as you mentioned, like, even the respect that everybody has for John Wick, the fear, the police officer, Francis, he's just like, thank you, Mr. Wick, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Like he's taking the earpiece off. And it's just little moments of dialogue that don't over-explain. It just gives you enough. And you might have somebody who watches that and thinks like, what's going on there? Hey, explain that to me. But for the most part, most viewers who don't want to be taken as idiots watching it are watching it thinking, man, like this is like a movie that really like, it gives you like the benefit of the doubt that you're not an idiot, and that you're going to pick up on these things. And so, yeah, I think that's the beauty of the film is that I think it just like, it has a sense of stakes, a good revenge tale at the center of it. It's a great action movie choreography-wise, but it also, like, builds a world. It gives you a sense of that world when the movie's over. If this was the only John Wick movie, there would always be this thing of, like, oh, man, I wonder what else is going on in that Continental. And I think that's why the sequels work, right? Like, you get to see that. So, yeah.
Dude,
well, I think that was
I preach, hold on real quick. Yeah. You're preaching to the choir because I agree with you with the way you should rate movies. Rate them on what they're trying to accomplish, not what you can't ever put Robin Hood Men in Tights in the same category as Oppenheimer. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I agree with you. That's something I've been saying for so long, and I'm just excited that someone else said it. Just saw me going like, oh, thank God, someone else is saying it besides me. Yes, I agree with you 100%.
No, I think we're all in agreement. John Wick is a great movie. I think this was a strong start. Thank you, Anthony, for coming on to the
thank you, Anthony.
First episode of the Binge. I know it will not be the last one that you join. We will be coming back next week with, you guessed it, John Wick 2. Unless we're going to switch it up on you, throw in John Wick 4. No, that's coming in 4 weeks.
Funny.
Until next time, let's cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Salud.